This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I'm back. We diving back into the sexless marriage and the abuse. It was the response that made me come back to this subject, because I realized that it was such a touchy subject, and this is something that a lot of people go through, usually men are going through it. Not to say women don't go through sexless marriages. I actually went through one myself, so I know how that is. I know the psychological toll that it takes on you, even though what I went through was caused by a medical condition on his end. That didn't make it a whole lot easier to deal with, because sexless is sexless, right? And after a time period, it kind of doesn't matter why. But anyway, one thing before I really start jumping into the sexless thing, I'm going to read out a comment, and let me just read the comment. And then, because I really want y'all to see this. Okay. This is a comment that was left under that video. Hi, Miss Crimson. I know you're pandering to the men with this one, so let me help you out. If a woman is not sleeping with her husband, the relationship in her mind is over. Everything after that is timing to make sure she gets everything else she wants before she moves on. Hope this helps. First of all, me telling the truth on the den of hyenas is always going to be called pandering by those very hyenas that either are guilty of what I'm talking about, or they sympathize with what I'm talking about from the negative side. Meaning they might not be necessarily wheeling and dealing in a sexless marriage, but they back that. They back that sentiment, that action. The thing that really gets me about that comment isn't even the little backhanded, you're pandering to the men with this one, or whatever, but it's also the sentiment that the woman is either always right or she's always justified with whatever she's doing. There's always a nice little, neat little excuse as to why women are being as trifling as they're being, why they're living the way they live, and why they're disgusting human beings, why they are heartless human beings. There's always a good little, neat little packaged up little reason why the women are really doing what they're doing. And I don't know why, y'all come to me to say this kind of stuff, because it doesn't stop anything. Just because there's a so-called reason for her doing it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't excuse it. And matter of fact, it makes it worse. It actually makes it worse, because now she's biding time. See, the part that I didn't say is a lot of y'all chicks is out here cheating on your man. This is why cheating is such a big trigger for y'all, because y'all doing it. The stupid part is that y'all do it stupid. Y'all do it stupid because you will go and cheat on your husband, and then you will stop having sex with your husband like a dumbbell. Immediate red flag. Because if you ain't gave it to your husband in 6 months, you mean to tell me what your coochie do? Grow legs and walk off? So you ain't hot no more, never? In 6 whole months, you ain't got hot not one time? You ain't crawled up on him not one time? You ain't backed it up on him not one time? You ain't requested, initiated, suggested sex not one time? Sometime in 3, 6, 8, 12 months at a time? You getting it somewhere else. Because your coochie, it didn't stop working. It ain't got no yellow tape around it. It functioned just fine. You just ain't giving it to him. And this is why y'all want to watch his phone and see where he at, because you don't want him tracking you down. But that comment that was left was not smart. That wasn't no smart comment. That wasn't anything that shed any light or contributed it positively to the conversation. It just made women look stupid. We know you using it for control and you're trying to buy time to get more resources out of him. We know that. So let me go into the abuse, because a sexless marriage that is sexless, not because somebody's having a medical problem, not because there's an actual issue that is preventing the two people from engaging in regular sex, but just because trifling, just because, you know what I'm saying, it was Wednesday afternoon. So we not gonna have no. Okay, let me get into it. Let me just say this. A woman that stopped having sex with her husband, this isn't necessarily the husband's fault. He's not doing something to her to make her stop having sex. Y'all do this on y'all own. Let's talk about the mechanism of control. Okay? It's because she not always wrestling with some deep emotional issue. Like, I'm tired of y'all with that. Oh, she ain't going through nothing. She wasn't going through it when she was hopping from man to man out there in them streets. She wasn't going through nothing. Okay? And whatever she was going through, she was resolving it with eggplants. So if she in a marriage and she going through something, you take up that same coping mechanism. Anyway, she's attempting to exercise control over a couple of things. His resources. Usually in a sexless marriage, or a marriage with so few times of intimacy that it might as well be sexless, the sex is used as a bartering tool within the marriage. If you buy me this, we'll have sex. If you get me this, we might have sex. If you pay for this, we might have sex. If you know what I'm saying? So it's a bargaining chip, or it's attempted to be a bargaining chip for his resources. Now, this doesn't really make sense to me, especially if you're married to this man. He's already giving resources. He's already doing that. And if he's not doing that, withholding the sex ain't gonna make him do it. Y'all need to go to marriage counseling and see what else is going on, because that's not the way to address the issue. Addressing the issue addresses the issue. Not trying to control the sexual dynamic to make him act right. Here's the other thing. This is an attempt to control his behavior. Sex is used in a punishment reward system to try to train men on their behavior, on the behavior that you see as good or bad as described by the woman. So the behavior that the man is engaging in doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad, but she's going to assign the qualifier of good or bad to his actions and then use sex as a punishment or a reward. So if he brings her a Valentine's Day gift of her expectation, he might get some begrudging sex. This is not special, ladies. This is not special. You done gave that box to half the neighborhood you come from. It is not special. Okay? But it is used as a training tool, as you would an animal. You know what I'm saying? You get an animal some treats when they do what you want them to do, and you know what I'm saying, you withhold the treats when they don't do what you want them to do. Like a dog or something. The next thing is the attempt to control his masculine energy, attempting to regulate his masculine energy, or to stifle the amount of control he exerts, or to relax his SOS. So basically what I'm saying here is he may have what she deemed as strict SOS, strict system, order, and structure. For those of you know, I got a chart. This is what I'm talking about. The masculine energy in relationships. Men bring systems, order, structures. Okay? Now, a lot of chaotic modern women do not like any type of structure. Even if the man don't have a strict one, if the fact that he has one at all becomes problematic. So in order to attempt to make him relax those that system, order, and structure, she will either give him sex at specific times or more likely to withhold the sex to make him relent. So if he has something that he don't want her to do or something that he may have expressed, you know what I'm saying, maybe I don't think that's a good idea, she'll either try to use the sex to make him lax it, or she'll withhold the sex to make him exasperated enough to be like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you want to do. I just want some sex from you. Because it's been 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. This goes back to the punishment reward system that she's using the sex for. The other thing is she's attempting to control his sexual nature, attempting to make him ashamed of his sexual nature, make him ashamed that he wants it, quote unquote, as much as he does, or that he wants it more than her. Okay? His asking her for sex is termed as abusive. All right? And some women have gone so far as to term it a kind of graping, like a coercion, because she'll say no and he will attempt to keep asking her in one way or another, can they have sex? And if she give in, she was coerced into the act, which translates into it wasn't really consent. This is how convoluted it gets. This is really how convoluted and crazy that it become. Now, these are marriages, mind you. These are not some random dudes that these women barely know. These are men that they live with, that they got kids with, sharing an entire life with. And that man cannot come to them on a consistent basis and request sex out of them unless he's to be ashamed of that. Why are you running again? You know, again, the last time we had it was 8 days ago. What's wrong with you? Now, everything that I just said is a form of psychological abuse that is used to gain control in the entirety of the relationship. So this is a psychological thing. The reason why she can't use it in the single people dating market is because the men there don't offer her a relationship or any of the stability that come with a relationship. So she can't use sex as a leverage with them because that's not leverage with them. If they don't get it from her, they just go get it from somebody else. There is no, big tie to her. Like, girl, they'll ghost you in a minute, girl, bye. And she knows that. She knows there's no leverage. So she might as well, quote unquote, give it up freely because she can't use it as a bargaining chip at all. Like, not really at all. However, she can use it. These types of females can use sex as a bargaining chip within a relationship because it's at least one thing she know, one thing that she's pretty certain of is that the man that done married her care about her. And it's because he cares about her, right? And in the totality of the relationship, because he cares about her, okay, that is what makes her sexual control, withholding, and all that kind of stuff work, even if it's temporary. Okay, even if it's not this long, drawn out years and years and years, even if it's just a temporary thing, it only lasts a short time. She knows that it's going to do what she wants. It's going to have an effect on that man on some level because he cares about her. Okay. The thing to understand is that these hyenas do not care. It's not that they don't know the severity of what they do. They just don't care how it affects you. Right? So they don't care about the severity of this type of abuse because what's really happening is a person that you love is rejecting you consistently. and you don't even know why. So all that you have is a sense of rejection, which actually would translate a lot of times and designed to break a person's self-esteem, to interrupt the person's sense of self-worth, and to foster that sense of betrayal. Because now it's like, I don't even know why this person doing this to me. They know I have sexual needs, don't they? So why am I being denied something that should be freely given between us? And then for the women to act like she being tortured to her girl, like you don't like sex. Like sex is something that y'all don't get nothing out of. If he not performing well, what you marry him for? Because I know you didn't hold yourself before marriage and didn't know what the stroke was like. So you knew what his stroke was like and you was pleased with the stroke before. If you was faking orgasms before and you didn't like the sex, you should have said that. Most men that'll hurt their ego, but at the same time, if the conversation is handled properly or as delicately as it can be handled, he'll be trying to figure out how to get you to not fake them orgasms, you have real ones. But if y'all ended up in a relationship with a man that ain't stroking it right, you told him he was stroking it right by faking the orgasms. Duh. Oh, yeah, that was wonderful. Ooh, baby, that was just, ooh, you doing all that and ain't had no orgasm. That's on you. So I don't want no complaints years down the line about his sex game. That's why he get confused. Like, wait a minute, I thought you liked my sex. Yet another point of psychological abuse too. The gaslight. For somebody to suddenly realize you don't like what you said you liked, that I do all the time. Anyway, before we sign off, there is a petition against Black Lives Matter organization for the theft of more than $90 million in donated funds that they use for their personal gain instead of using it for the community. So the link to that petition is in the description box. Also, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.